So let's look at charcoal as a medium, charcoal pencils specifically, and a couple of tools that will work with it. So these are both medium charcoal pencils. They are by different companies, but it's a 2B medium, so there are ones that are darker and softer, and then there are ones that have a harder charcoal, which would be a little bit lighter. This is a blending stump or a tortillon stump. It's just a rolled up piece of paper. And this is the kneaded eraser that you would use with charcoal, so it comes wrapped in plastic. And then to use them, soften them up. Oops, there's a little piece of plastic left. And you soften them up with stretching and using the heat from your hands, and then this is also how you'll end up cleaning the eraser after you remove some charcoal off your paper. So this is charcoal paper, which has a little bit of a texture on it. Let's see if I can, I don't know if you can see those lines that are on there, that little bit of a kind of almost like a grid. That's going to give you a tooth to the paper. A tooth is this texture. So as I take this pencil and I do my little circles to try to hide my pencil strokes, you can maybe start to see that there they are. If you look, you can see these little pockets where the pencil did not go into the paper. It's more sitting on the surface. And as I start to press harder, you can still see those white pockets. And if I pencil over, now I have this kind of beveled edge. I can create a thin line with that, or I can use this nice flat edge and I can create a thick line. This thick line is going to be a lot easier to blend and to hide my pencil strokes if I'm trying to not have any visible marks. If I try to do that with this thin line, it's going to be a lot streakier and more difficult to blend compared to that thick. Okay. Same thing, this pencil is very similar, just a different brand, different company. Again, create light values and dark values and create that beveled edge and roll it over and get thin lines or press into the tooth of the paper so I don't see the pockets or the texture anymore. And here's the tortillon stump. The tortillon stump I can use a couple of different ways. I can use it to get rid of that texture of the paper if I don't want for some reason. You don't need to. It's perfectly fine the way that it is. If you have texture in your drawing, that's okay. But there may be times where you don't want that texture. If so, you can use this tortillon stump, but it is going to make your value darker. So if I take and I start blending this, because I'm losing those little bits of base, this now feels a lot darker than the areas around it. If you want to create a light value that's also smooth, sometimes it's not just charcoal from wherever, and actually with the tortillon stump. There's the medium, and I could really light. And for the eraser, I can shape it so I can get a little tiny area, and I can just work on erasing this one little spot right in the middle. And you can see I just fold it over, shape it, and I control just erasing something like bigger, kind of like draw, remove a highlight. Another thing you can do is let's say I decided that want this to be this dark. I can take eraser and let this out. Press it. Very similar if you have a color, you picking color with your paper towel. You can see that I got quite a bit of charcoal off of there, and then this is where you somewhat clean or at least trap the charcoal dot into your eraser, And you can do this again. And the nice thing about doing this without having to rub eraser paper is that if you have details that you don't lose, you can lighten them but not lose all of the textures and the lines. So you can see there's the lines, and they're still on the paper as well. So experiment around, just get comfortable with how the material feels, with what the paper feels like, the eraser, the tortillon stump, and then we'll go on to creating some value scales and some spheres to really master controlling using this medium.